Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today is a beautiful day to dive deep into the scandalous world of Port Charles, and we have an absolute mountain of drama to unpack together. Did Sonny honestly think he could push Ava into a corner, strip away her dignity, and not expect her to retaliate with the most sinister, jaw-dropping twist this town has seen in decades? If you ask me, our favorite mob boss has grown far too comfortable, completely forgetting the cardinal rule of dealing with a mother scorned. You simply do not threaten a woman like Ava and expect her to walk away quietly. Right now, the chaotic landscape of Port Charles is an absolute war zone. We have Sonny running around trying to reclaim his territory, dealing with the fallout of Jens and his deadly traps, while Ava is being summoned, threatened, and treated like a mere pawn in his dangerous games. The tension between these two has been simmering at a boiling point for months, and we all know that when Ava is backed against a wall, she does not just surrender. She schemes, she plots, and she strikes where it hurts, the absolute most. Avery is the center of her universe, and Sonny has been using his immense power to keep Ava on a tight leash. For a long time, we have watched Ava endure these relentless power struggles. She's been playing a defensive game, trying to protect her relationship with Avery while navigating the treacherous waters of Sonny and his mob lifestyle. But if you have been a loyal viewer like me, you know that Ava's patience is entirely finite. She is a master tactician, a woman who understands that brute force is nothing compared to psychological warfare. I firmly believe that Ava is done playing the victim. She is gearing up to reopen the custody battle for Avery, but she is not going to do it through standard legal channels. Oh no, guys, she is going to orchestrate a masterpiece of manipulation. She knows that taking Sonny head on in a courtroom while he is stable and powerful is a losing battle. To win Avery permanently, she needs to dismantle Sonny from the inside out. She needs to break the foundation of his sanity, and that is exactly where a dark, long buried secret comes back to haunt him. Let us take a walk down memory lane for a moment. We all remember the absolute wreck devastation that occurred in the past when Sonny and his bipolar medication were compromised. Ava was directly involved in the tampering of those crucial pills, an act of sheer malice that sent shockwaves through their entire family dynamic. It was a jaw-dropping twist that nearly destroyed everything in its path. Now, history has a funny way of repeating itself, but Ava is far too smart to use the exact same playbook twice. She knows that Sonny is heavily guarded, and his inner circle is always watching for any signs of sabotage. If she just swapped his pills again, someone would figure it out entirely too fast. She needs a method that is invisible, a weapon that leaves absolutely no fingerprints. And to execute a plan of this magnitude, she needs an accomplice with medical expertise and zero loyalty to Sonny. But that's not even the craziest part. Enter Tristan. Up until this very moment, Tristan has been a complete and utter enigma. He arrived in town as the shiny new doctor, immediately clashing with Britt and somehow securing Carly and her old apartment. But who is he, really? We have absolutely no confirmation on his background. Is he a genuinely good guy trying to make a fresh start, or is he a ruthless villain harboring a dark agenda? The writers have intentionally kept Tristan shrouded in mystery, making him the perfect blank slate. And if you ask me, that makes him the ultimate pawn for someone as cunning as Ava. She has a sixth sense for spotting vulnerability and ambition. I am entirely convinced that Ava did not just bump into Tristan and say hello. She has been quietly, meticulously investigating his past. She has dug into the shadows of his medical career before he arrived in Port Charles, searching for that one fatal flaw, that one skeleton in the closet that she can exploit. Imagine the scene, guys. Ava sitting in her gallery, sipping a glass of wine, holding a dossier filled with Tristan and his most damning secrets. Maybe it is a malpractice suit he buried, or a massive financial debt he is desperate to erase. Whatever it is, Ava has him cornered. She approaches Tristan not as an enemy, but as a benefactor offering a devil's bargain. She promises to keep his dark history a secret, and perhaps even offers him a staggering sum of money to secure his future. In exchange, she demands his medical expertise for a highly illegal, deeply unethical task. Tristan, realizing that his entire new life in Port Charles could be incinerated with a single phone call from Ava, realizes he has absolutely no choice. He is trapped in her web, forced to become the architect of Sonny and his impending doom. This is where the plot becomes truly sinister. Ava does not want Tristan to just throw Sonny and his pills in the trash. That is amateur hour. Instead, she wants Tristan to use his pharmacological knowledge to subtly, almost imperceptibly, alter the medication. Tristan could introduce a secondary compound into the pills, an enzyme or a chemical agent that slowly neutralizes the active ingredients of the bipolar medication once it enters the bloodstream. To the naked eye, the pills look exactly the same. Sonny will take them every single day, believing he is maintaining his mental health, completely unaware that he is swallowing a ticking time bomb. The brilliance of this jaw-dropping twist is its gradual nature. It will not be an overnight manic episode that alerts everyone immediately. It will be a slow, agonizing descent into instability. But that's not even the craziest part. As the altered medication begins to take effect, we will witness the tragic unraveling of Sonny. At first, it will just be minor mood swings. A sudden outburst of anger over a trivial issue, a momentary lapse in judgment, a flash of the old unhinged mob boss. His allies will likely brush it off as stress from dealing with gens or the usual mob territory disputes. But as the days turn into weeks, the protective barrier of his medication will completely erode. Sonny will start experiencing full-blown manic episodes. He will become paranoid, aggressive, and entirely unpredictable. He might start alienating the people who care about him the most, pushing away anyone who tries to intervene. The tragedy is that Sonny will genuinely believe he is taking his medication. He will feel his mind slipping and won't understand why, leading to a terrifying spiral of confusion and rage. While Sonny is losing his grip on reality, Ava will be watching from the sidelines like a hawk. She won't just sit back, she will actively provoke him. She will orchestrate situations designed to trigger his paranoia and anger, ensuring that his outbursts happen in public or in front of crucial witnesses. She will meticulously document every single erratic behavior, every threat, every moment of instability. She is building a fortress of evidence against him. Ava knows that the family court system prioritizes the safety and well-being of the child above all else. By forcing Sonny into an unmedicated bipolar spiral, she is painting a vivid, undeniable picture of a father who is entirely unfit to care for a young girl like Avery. She is turning his own biology against him, weaponizing his mental illness in the most cruel and calculated way imaginable. Think about the ripple effects this bombshell will have on the rest of Port Charles. Carly will undoubtedly notice the changes in Sonny. She knows his manic signs better than anyone. But because Sonny will swear up and down that he is taking his pills, Carly might initially be baffled. She might even defend him, unaware that the very medicine meant to save him is the poison destroying him. The entire mob syndicate will sense weakness, inviting external threats to move in. Sonny's empire will begin to crumble, mirroring the collapse of his mind. And all the while, Tristan will be walking the halls of the hospital, sweating bullets, knowing that he is responsible for the destruction of the most powerful man in town, bound by Ava and her ruthless blackmail. But that's not even the craziest part. The true climax of this devastating storyline will take place in the courtroom. Just when Sonny is at his absolute lowest, completely alienated from his support system and drowning in paranoia, Ava will file an emergency petition for sole custody of Avery. She will walk into that courtroom looking like the picture of maternal stability, armed with a mountain of irrefutable evidence. Videos of Sonny raging, testimonies from witnesses who saw his manic behavior, and perhaps even a manipulated medical evaluation provided by none other than Tristan himself. Sonny will stand before the judge, desperate and confused, insisting that he is managing his condition, but his erratic demeanor in the courtroom will only prove Ava's point. The judge will have no choice but to rule in Ava's favor, stripping Sonny of his rights and handing Avery over to the woman who orchestrated the entire nightmare. If you ask me, this would be the ultimate revenge for Ava. It is not just about taking Avery, it is about completely breaking Sonny's spirit. By using his medication as the murder weapon for his sanity, she takes away his agency. Sonny has always prided himself on control of his territory, his family, his mind. To realize that he was manipulated so intimately that his own daily routine was weaponized against him will wreak devastation on his soul. And what happens when the truth finally comes out? Because in soap operas, a long buried secret never stays buried forever. When Sonny eventually discovers that Tristan and Ava colluded to poison his mind, the fallout will be biblical. The wrath of a betrayed, unmedicated Sonny is something Port Charles might not survive. And let us not forget about Tristan. He thinks he is playing a smart game by aligning with Ava to protect his own secrets, but he has no idea the sheer magnitude of the fire he is playing with. When you cross a mob boss, there is no place on earth you can hide. If Carly or anyone else figures out that the shiny new doctor is the reason Sonny lost his mind and his daughter Tristan's life expectancy will drop to 0, Ava will undoubtedly throw him under the bus the second things get hot, leaving him to face the lethal consequences alone. Tristan is a ticking time bomb himself, a man caught between a ruthless mother's ambition and a mobster's inevitable vengeance. This alliance is a match made in hell, and the explosion is going to be spectacular. We are looking at a storyline that will redefine the power dynamics of this entire show. Ava is holding all the cards, Tristan is the reluctant executioner, and Sonny is walking blindly into a trap that will cost him everything he holds dear. Will anyone realize the medication has been altered before Sonny does something completely unforgivable? Will Avery be ripped from her home while her father spirals into madness? The pieces are all in place, and the trap is about to spring shut. But just as Ava prepares to hand Tristan the final lethal dose to swap into the pill bottle, a shadow moves in the doorway of the gallery, and a familiar voice whispers, "I wouldn't do that if I were you."